Welcome! Today, we're going to dissect a man who genuinely believed he could build a fortress of reason so perfect, so impenetrable, that he could outsmart the void itself. But then, he heard a little rhythm coming up from beneath the floorboards.
Let's step into the darkness, shall we?
Our man, the narrator, is just so proud of his perfect crime. You can almost feel it, can't you? He's convinced, and his cold, clinical precision has made him untouchable. But really, his entire world is a house of cards, built right on top of a festering secret he thinks he's buried deep, deep down.
So how does he pull off this incredible delusion? Well, that's what we're digging into first. We're going to explore the narrator's grand attempt to construct a whole new reality for himself, basically a gilded cage, both physical and mental, designed to keep his own conscience locked out. And you can see the split right here. On one side, you've got the narrator's self-image. He's a master of cold, hard logic, a genius. But the reality of it, the Gremlin's truth, it's all just a paper-thin mask hiding this gnawing, visceral fear and a guilt so overwhelming it's about to boil over.
You know, his house really just becomes a metaphor for his mind. All the strong locks, the perfectly polished surfaces, it's all just a carefully built architectural front, an unearned sanctuary. He's trying to use intellectual censorship, you see, walling off the parts of his own psyche he just can't stand. But here's the thing about a cage. No matter how gilded it is, it's still a prison.
And this is where it all starts to unravel, with the arrival of a sound. Now, this isn't some ghost or a ghoul. No, it's something way more terrifying, an undeniable internal truth that's just starting to beat like a drum.
Okay, and let's be absolutely clear, this iconic heartbeat, it isn't supernatural, it's an auditory hallucination. It is the narrator's own mind cranking up an uncontrollable engine of pure emotion that his precious logic just can't shut down. He is literally becoming a prisoner of a sound that he himself created.
And from the spirit of negation's perspective, oh, this is just beautiful. The Gremlin would tell you that this thud is the most honest sound in the entire room. It's the sound of reality finally swallowing all the narrator's cheap illusions, his puffed-up pride, and all his pathetic little lies. You could say it's the universe correcting the record. Now, this sound isn't static. It's more like a relentless timer. It starts out faint, right? Just a little thud. But then it grows into this intrusive rhythm that completely shatters his composure, kicks his mental breakdown into high gear, and becomes the final, frantic countdown to his confession, which is, of course, inevitable.
All right, this is where we get to the philosophical heart of it all. See, that heartbeat isn't just a clever plot device. Nope, it's a lesson in a kind of bleak, nihilistic mathematics that the Gremlin likes to call the logic of zero.
So what is the logic of zero? Well, it's the simple, profound idea that when you tally everything up in the great ledger of existence, every human action, pride, genius, even murder, it all ultimately adds up to nothing. It's the force that just rips away those gilded masks we all love to wear.
And this is its ultimate symbol, zero. The great equalizer, the final sum of our narrator's perfect crime. It's the actual value of his so-called genius when it's staring right into the face of the void.
I mean, that's the final brutal equation, isn't it? That thumping sound coming up from the floorboards is just the universe tapping our guy on the shoulder and reminding him that all his careful plotting, all his smug pride, all his quote-unquote achievement, it's just dross. It all amounts to absolutely nothing.
But a thud doesn't stay a thud for long. It grows, and it twists into a deafening shriek that perfectly mirrors the complete and utter shattering of the narrator's mind. This, my friends, is the sound of collapse.
And it all starts right here. A simple, rhythmic panic. An unwelcome guest. The very first crack in the fortress of his mind. And then, of course, it gets louder and louder. It becomes a terminal shudder that he can no longer ignore, no longer rationalize away. And now we've reached the end state. His logic has completely failed him. The cage has been breached. He's just a soul trapped in a frantic, terrifying circle of his own making.
And finally, the shriek. Now, this isn't just the sound of fear anymore. This is the sound of an entire worldview, a world built on lies and ego, violently coming apart at the seams.
And this is the glorious result. Total collapse. But you know, from the Gremlin's point of view, this isn't just destruction. Oh no, This is a beautiful, kinetic agent of nihilism, wiping the slate clean.
This climax is what you might call a blighted revelation. It's this moment of just awful, unavoidable clarity. The noise gets so loud, so overwhelming, that the narrator's soul basically liquefies, and every single hidden, fragmented piece of his guilt becomes completely, undeniably real.
So, after all that, where does this leave us? Well, in this final section, we're going to see that this story isn't just some simple tragedy. The narrator's failure actually reveals a profound philosophical crossroads, a choice that really all of us have to face when we're staring into the abyss.
What Poe does so brilliantly here, you see, is he moves the horror inward. The real prison isn't a cell with bars. It's our own conscience. And the heart, it acts as its persistent, inescapable jailer. The narrator didn't just bury a body. He tried to bury his own humanity, and it just refused to stay dead.
And his big confession? Let's be honest, it's not some grand act of morality. It's an act of pure desperation. He chooses to confess for one reason and one reason only: to make the noise stop, to escape the frantic delirium of his own mind. He's looking for the happiness of the grave, the sweet, sweet silence of oblivion.
And that really brings us to the final, provocative question. Once our own vanity is tallied up, once we hear that honest sound reminding us of our own limits, what do? What choice is left for us, the seeker, standing there at the edge? In the end, the tale leaves us all standing on the edge of a tightrope. So what's it going to be? Do we surrender? Do we just accept the logic of zero and embrace the void? Or do we strive? Do we acknowledge the abyss, but still undertake the incredibly difficult, arduous task of forging our own meaning, of building a sovereign self in spite of it all? The heartbeat fades, but that question, that rhythm, well, that remains.